PlayStation 2 was one of the greatest gaming platforms of all time, and with it came some of the greatest games of all time. It wasn't an easy task, but IGN's editors went through the massive PS2 library to decide upon the very best of the best. In the end, one game stood tall. Really, really tall. Congratulations to Shadow of the Colossus. It's our #1 pick, and here's why.
Shadow of the Colossus is by far the best game on PlayStation 2 because there's nothing like it on the platform, period, or really anything that came out that generation or since.
It's such a good combination of not only original gameplay, but it's really, really well done, and it's wrapped in this package that is just extremely artistic.
And the thing that really sets it apart is the game is pure in every sense of the word. There's no clutter in Shadow of the Colossus. It's just you, a horse, a sword, and boss enemies. You don't have to fight through a bunch of hordes of nobodies to get to where you're going.
So when done well, boss fights are always the most exciting parts of a game for me. So when I heard that Shadow of the Colossus was all boss fights all the time, I was on board immediately.
You just come up to this Colossi in the middle of nowhere and you gotta figure out how to take it down. And it's basically like a puzzle. It's sort of like a puzzle game, and it's sort of like an action game. And the way that it all works together is really quite impeccable.
The developers were always able to top themselves with each new Colossus and always present us with something new and unexpected. And then in between these epic battles, there'd be these long periods of travel where it's just you and your horse and you have all this time, this quiet time to reflect. I feel like games always want to constantly throw things at the player so they don't get bored, but Shadow of the Colossus had the guts to just give you time, give you space, give you time to think.
Really what did it for me in terms of getting drawn into the world was the first boss fight, and just realizing the scope of the game, realizing the types of challenges that were going to get thrown at me, and just sort of getting used to the totally unique kind of pacing that the game had. Just made it feel like this was going to be an experience that I'd never really had before.
I got up to the part where the 5th Colossus flew in, and it's just kind of this gigantic winged beast that takes up the entire screen. It's flying over water, dipping in and out. And you have to jump onto its back, climb across its wings as it's flying and trying to shake you off, and stab it. And I'd never played a boss fight in a video game like that before, and I don't think I have since.
It's something that, made me shut off real life for a while, and it made me want to exist in this virtual space just to see how it developed and see it through.
I was really, really, really impressed with their ability to combine adventure action elements and puzzle elements in a way that doesn't feel like a puzzle game, but it really is.
But it ended up being one of the most engrossing and emotional gaming experiences I've ever had.
The art design of the game is really compelling. The music is fantastic. The presentation of you climbing on these giant colossi is just, it's really, really not only impressive, but it's just, I don't know, it's inspiring basically. I've never gone to art school. I couldn't tell you what people say art is. All I know is that if we were going to go ahead and say that video games are art, that Shadow of the Colossus is probably the best example of it.
Thanks for the memories, guys. For those of you out there who missed this game on PS2, it will be available on the PS3 in spring 2011 as part of the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus collection. And if you can't get enough of the PS2, be sure to check out IGN's list of the top 100 PS2 games at go.ign.com/top100 PS2. I'm Jessica Chobot, and we'll see you here next time on IGN.